Thank you. Well, in a previous life, these two managerial rivals separated by only 5 miles. Guardiola and Pochettino spent 3.5 years either side of the Barcelona divide. A rivalry where, with the best will in the world, there was only ever going to be one winner. The Poch managed to lead Espanyol to 1 win over Barcelona in that time was a noticeable achievement, and he became the first coach to beat Guardiola in the league on his own turf. When Guardiola left for Bayern in 2012, it would have been fanciful to envisage the circumstances of their next meeting. But a little over 4 years on, they reconvene on a much more level playing field. Finances might again dictate that in the long term, Pep will expect to come out on top, but to do so, he will have to overhaul Poch's charges, who finished above them last season and who did the double over City last season. Well, City's perfect start to the season was ended on Wednesday by Celtic. Today, Pochettino will try and succeed where all others have failed so far by taking league points off Pep. The absence of the injured Kevin De Bruyne coincided with City's worst performance to date, while Spurs will have noted ways in which Celtic were able to expose their defensive frailties. But if Guardiola's men can make it a magnificent 7 out of 7 by beating the side who started the weekend second to them in the table, they will have a 5-point lead. And even this early in the season, the others will very much be trailing in their wake. This is how the two sides line up. Lloris in goal, Walker, Alderweireld, Vertonghen and Rose, Wanyama and Ali, Sissoko, Eriksen and Lamela, and Son up front, although there is obviously the possibility of playing Lamela as the central striker and Son in a wider position. On the bench for Spurs, Janssen left out today, Nkudu, Dyer, Trippier, Winks, Davis and Form. Manchester City, Bravo in goal, Zabaleta, Otamendi, Stones and Kolarov, Fernando and Fernandinho, Navas, Silva and Sterling, and Aguero up front. On the bench for Manchester City, Sagna, Gundogan, Sane, Clichy, Iheanacho, Alex Garcia and Caballero. No Nolito, who serves the last game of his domestic suspension, and no Kevin De Bruyne either. And I just go back to that statistic I mentioned earlier. 28 times he's played for Manchester City in the league. They've lost only 3. 9 times he hasn't played, and they've lost 5 of them. Well, he's the man that makes them tick.
Yeah, Jamie's going to be a huge loss for him, and he has been. I watched the game against Swansea last week. Although they won the game, you know, it was a hard match for them. You know, give Swansea a lot of credit. I thought their attitude was good. They closed them down, made it difficult, but the superior ability of Man City came through. But they did miss De Bruyne. I've seen his first game for the club, came on as a substitute at Crystal Palace, and he played 1 ball in the game, just 1. And for me, you just knew he was going to be an exceptional talent and have a great career with Manchester City. Played it through for Jesus Navas, who missed the opportunity. But 99.999% of Premier League players wouldn't have seen it, for one, and certainly wouldn't have played it. That's how good Kevin De Bruyne was on that day.
Well, last week he really made a difference. He started in a wide position and moved into number 10, and as soon as he did so, that really was the catalyst for Manchester City's improved performance and the victory. The top 2 coming into the weekend, the 2 remaining unbeaten records on the line. Spurs, white shirts and dark blue shorts, kicking from left to right and in possession. Turn forward by Sissoko towards Kyle Walker, who was left out of the Champions League game in Russia during the week. Kieran Trippier got the nod ahead of him. Walker rested up and involved heavily early on. Son on the right-hand side of the penalty area, off balance, blazes one over the bar. But he's a man who's exuding confidence at the moment, and you've seen that in the opening 30 seconds.
Tell you what, a lovely little nutmeg as well, wasn't it? Really good build-up play for Tottenham down the right-hand side. Good movement from the players as well. Manchester City had enough bodies back. Lovely nutmeg on Kolarov from Son, put it through his legs, an acute angle, not the best angle to take the shot on from, but because he's supremely confident, hit it with a lot of power, not a great deal of direction, and high and over the top of the crossbar.
Christian Eriksen brings the ball down in the midfield and works it wide to Danny Rose, back in the Spurs side today after injury. Rose's ball forward, just couldn't quite find Son, who has taken the central striker's role in the early stages, and it drifts out of play. He's been in great form, Son. He scored 5 goals in his last 3 away games, 6 in his last 6 Premier League matches all told. Netted twice at both Stoke and at Middlesbrough, and causing early problems for Manchester City today. Have a goal kick which will be taken by Claudio Bravo to our right-hand side.
Right, Jim, just have a look where the full-backs are for Manchester City. Zabaleta couldn't get any wider over on the right-hand side, and Kolarov couldn't get any wider on this left-hand side. That's the way the manager wants to play. play really wide, see what the wider players for Tottenham are going to do. Are they going to come and mark him? Are they going to set off him? That allows Bravo the freedom to pass the ball out.
Son does well, just feathers a ball into the path of Sissoko, running down the inside right channel, and Stones comes across to deal with it. Kolarov drops into a central position and is forced by Son just to knock the ball straight out of play for a throw, which will be taken on the Tottenham right-hand side by Christian Eriksen. It's 0-0 in the early stages here on TalkSport between Tottenham and Manchester City. Throw comes to nothing. Silva able to bring the ball away through the Manchester City midfield. City in their change kit today of black and very dark maroon with yellow socks. Aguero getting involved. Just got the last touch. It rolls out of play for a throw, which will be taken by Spurs and by Walker. Back for Alderweireld and now to Lloris. Lloris clears it, left-footed, and it spins over halfway. Kolarov slightly misjudges the header, and it comes off the top of his head, really, rather than the meat of the forehead. Be brought down now by Wanyama in the midfield, who will turn it right-footed forward towards Son. Son's had an excellent start, just trying to nudge the ball into the path of Eriksen. Stones again is there to clear. Sissoko wins the second ball in the midfield for Spurs, and then Wanyama will flick it back. Alderweireld is turned and forced to go back towards his own goalkeeper, but it'll be picked up again by Hugo Lloris in all blue. And he'll bring the ball towards the edge of his penalty area before, under a little bit of pressure from Aguero, he works it out towards the left-hand side for Vertonghen. City have turned over possession straight away. Silva just plays it around the corner towards Aguero. Aguero trying to turn. He's got an option out wide to his right-hand side. Three making runs inside the middle. Silva looking for the little near-post flick, which deceived Lloris. It took a deflection on the way through, and it'll be a corner to Manchester City.
He went with his wrong foot. He went with his left foot. He's predominantly left-footed. David Silva, for me, you've got to go with your right. Actually, it was a decent ball in here from Navas. 1v1 against Danny Rose. He just fired it in and he's went with his left foot. You've just got to just nudge at him with your right foot. But great opportunities for Manchester City to take the lead.
First corner to City. Spurs have only conceded 3 league goals all season. They've all been defending set pieces, corners and free kicks. Wanted to take this corner short towards Sterling, who just made his way in. It's flicked in instead towards Silva. Little flick on from him. Fernandinho's in there. Vertonghen there to clear. Hooks it away with his left foot on the edge of the 6-yard box and be brought down by Sissoko over on the Tottenham left, and he plays it off John Stones into the building side over on the far touchline for a throw, which will be taken by Spurs. It is, as Sags was intimating earlier, a very different White Hart Lane these days. The attendance down to about 31,500, and in that corner, in the Spurs left back position, they're kicking from left to right as we look at it. So the top left hand corner as we're looking at the pitch, it's just a big gap where the stand used to be, and they've had to take 6,000 seats out. Son able to motor forward again on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Stones' challenge was an impeccably timed one, and there was no margin for error, but he slid in and put it out of play, and referee Andre Mariner signals the first corner of the game that has been won by Spurs, well challenged by Stones over on the left-hand side.
I'll tell you what you said about Son and how well he's started this game there. He showed his pace down the left-hand side, the right of Manchester City. Zabaleta couldn't keep pace with him, and it was a very important challenge there from John Stones.
Son with the ball in, little near-post flick comes from Ali, be picked up easily by Claudio Bravo, and he will bring it towards the edge of his own penalty area and prepare to launch it forward. And that's not the Manchester City way. When Spurs trotted back and got in position, it was just bowled out very calmly instead towards Stones, who's had an excellent start to his Manchester City career. Sterling's also had a good start to the season and gets the ball from Stones before winning a free kick. Two men who will be undoubtedly in the England squad that will be named by Gareth Southgate later today, and first news of that is here on TalkSport. Free kick for that foul on Sterling. Stones is going to leave it, abdicating responsibility for Alex Kolarov, who will just still 2 or 3 yards, bringing it forward, and the referee is alive to that and has just said no, take it back, where it was fine. Kolarov just asking for clarification, gets told to move it back even further, and by trying to nick a yard he's probably lost 2. Aguero waits towards the edge of the penalty area. Kolarov has spun it wide instead, out towards the City right, and it's too high and wide for Navas, sails over his head and goes out of play for a throw, which Tottenham will take in the left back position. It's Tottenham 0, Manchester City 0 on TalkSport.
Bit of a waste that, Jim, wasn't it, there from Kolarov? No need to hit that diagonal ball, trying to pick out Navas over on the right hand side there. There wasn't a lot of options in the middle. I didn't see an awful lot of movement, and just the way that they've lined up today, Manchester City, is Fernando that's sitting in front of the back four. Fernandinho will be given license to get a little bit further forward.
Lloris plays it out from the back and talk about the pressure that Bravo's likely to find himself under, and Lloris was there with two City players converging on him, and he could just spoon it out towards Alderweireld, who likewise under quick pressure just gave it away, and it's out for a throw which will be taken by Kolarov on the Manchester City left. 0-0, 7 gone.
I'm all for playing out from the back. I love that style of football, but there's a time and a place to do it, and that wasn't the time there because they were under pressure there. Just clear your lines. He actually tried to play Kyle Walker and Alderweireld and just played it straight out of play, and no reason to do that. Just head it downfield and then you can get your shape higher up the field.
Otamendi launches a long one forward, Walker on the end of it, a little bit awkward, but it was a very well-timed touch just to guide it back, take the sting off it and get it back to his goalkeeper Hugo Lloris, and that will allow Spurs to bring the ball out from the back. They looked for Danny Rose on the left-hand side, his ball forward a little bit too sharp, too early for Son, and it goes through the goalkeeper Bravo to Stones back for Claudio Bravo, and it's Ali this time who's leading the charge and the press from the front, and then Son does likewise on Otamendi, who clears right-footed without a great degree of conviction. But as Spurs work it forward again, Stones can calm things down on the edge of the D for Manchester City. Exchange passes with Kolarov, and they go back to his goalkeeper again, who wants a second touch and then a third before getting it away from the on-rushing Ali. The ball forward, Rose goes up for it with Navas. Then, after Rose's initial header, it's brought down by firstly Fernando and then by Silva in the midfield, and then Stones can find Kolarov again. Kolarov back for John Stones, 15 yards inside his own half, with City kicking from right to left, forward towards David Silva, and Silva just fashions a ball with the outside of his left foot out towards Otamendi. Early today, Manchester United held by Stoke. Martial had given United the lead, but Joe Allen equalised in the last 10 minutes. Stoke off the bottom of the table, and United 6th, 5 points behind City at start of play, could be 8 by the end of the day. Lamela out towards Danny Rose on the Tottenham left. Rose's ball in. Son goes up for it. He's missed it. He's come up the underside of the bar. It's gone in. I think it was Kolarov that got the touch. It's an own goal that's given Tottenham first blood here at White Hart Lane. And the question marks about the defensive deficiencies in the Manchester City side have been exposed again. It was a telling cross. Kolarov tried to clear it, and with a kind little Tottenham kiss off the inside of the post, he's put through his own net. The two unbeaten records are on the line, and it's first blood to Spurs, who become the first side to take the lead against City in the league all season.
Well, it was a decent ball in from Danny Rose. There wasn't an awful lot of Tottenham players in here, but what is Kolarov doing at the far post? And he's trying to clear it with his right foot. It looks like it came off his thigh and beyond the goalkeeper. Keeper could do nothing about it as it came off the underside of the crossbar and in. But you've got to get your body position right defensively to clear it. He didn't. He was at odds there, but that all came about, Jim, when the ball was played. They tried to play out from the back again into Fernandinho, and I tell you, done a great job. Wanyama came across, nicked the ball off him, and then Spurs were off and running down that left-hand side. Danny Rose with the ball into a good area, but you've got to say that should have been cleared by Kolarov.
And now Ali will play it forward, and Son will run at Stones, and he's got Sissoko in, supports Son on the left-hand side of the area, drives it towards the near post where Bravo got his angles right and helps it behind for a corner. It is all Tottenham who lead 1-0 with 10 minutes gone.
Where's the right back, Zabaleta? I mean, he's been a fantastic servant to Manchester City, but he's completely lost his pace. He's getting caught out of position. Son's off and running down that left-hand side. Got his shot away. The goalkeeper did the right thing at the near post. He was clearing the behind for a corner, but you can hear the noise here at White Hart Lane. The Spurs fans are buoyed by that early goal that they've got and the fact that they're attacking, looking for a second at the moment.
In comes Son's corner, very low towards the near post where Eriksen's hardly touched it so far. Saw it cleared away from him by Fernandinho. It's out for a throw, which will be taken on the Spurs left, midway inside the City half, taken quickly by Rose in towards Son. And Son will take it down towards the corner flag. Zabaleta able to deal with the threat that time and out for another throw. You're listening to Spurs 1, Man City 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. It was an extraordinary own goal, and you can watch it right now in the Sky Sports Football Score Centre app. It's available at no extra cost for Sky TV customers with Sky Sports. A horrible moment for Alex Kolarov, who went with his wrong foot, his right, clicked it into his left leg, and it bounced back behind him and into the net off the post. Ball played forward by Alderweireld for Tottenham, out towards the left-hand side. Rose goes for it, can't get there, but goes out for another throw, which will be taken by Spurs and taken quickly back towards Eriksen, who's in a deeper position this time. And Eriksen lays it back for Vertonghen. Tonga back for Lloris. Lloris first time out towards Alderweireld. Sterling pushes forward to put the pressure on, and it's cleared, and Sissoko sprints forward, and Bravo came out. Stones left it for him, but it looked for a moment as though Bravo was going to hesitate, and the Sissoko might be able to nip in between the pair of them and embarrass them. They couldn't. But there was again a great exhibition of pace from Tottenham, and City are really struggling defensively.
You see what happened there, Jim? All the City players, because they think they're going to play out from the back, they think they can push higher up the field. And you've seen the space that it was afforded to Tottenham there, just to lift the ball over the top. And that's how Alderweireld did there. He just played a little ball downfield, and all of a sudden it posed problems for Manchester City defensively. Sissoko was off and running. Stones didn't know whether to clear it or not. Bravo came running out his goal. He must have walked 30 yards outside his box there to clear the danger.
Aguero putting the pressure on Lloris at the other end this time, and then Vertonghen will be able to clear up the left-hand side again. Few better at being able to play out from the back. If you wanted the ball at the feet of any centre-half in the Premier League to hit a 60-yard ball with a degree of accuracy, you'd probably pick out Alderweireld. Vertonghen not too far behind him. Their passing range is exquisite. We've already seen examples of it today. Spurs leading 1-0. Alex Kolarov's 9th minute own goal. Leicester 0, Southampton 0 at the KP. Earlier today, United 1, Stoke 1. Here's Sissoko. Sissoko nutmegs Fernandinho and then tries to turn away from Fernando, who right in front of the referee has pulled him back. Turn just too good for the Brazilian. And it's a free kick to Spurs. Well on top and deserving their lead.
They look a little bit ragged at the moment, Manchester City. I don't know, the change in personnel from last week, De Bruyne's injury he picked up against Swansea and one or two others. They just don't look as sharp at the moment.
Sissoko wins the throw off Stones.
Now, why is he out there? Why is your centre-half coming all the way out to the left-back position? There was a huge gap between Kolarov, the left-back, and Otamendi. Spurs had one possession there.
And that wasn't the first time it's happened. There have been 2 or 3 occasions that he's come out from the centre and almost been on the overlap for Kolarov. Clearly part of the tactical master plan. Ali goes up for it. Kolarov's brought it down. Whistle's gone anyway. There's a high kick in the midfield by Eriksson, and it's a free kick which will be taken by City. Well, their last defeat came at Southampton back in early May. It's their only reverse in their last 14 Premier League games, and that's what's given them a 2-point advantage over Liverpool following the Reds' win yesterday. City starting the day 4 points clear of Tottenham, will go back to second, just a point off the summit if they can hold on to this lead. Silva's got the ball in the midfield. Wanyama wins it back. Again, the whistle has gone. Free kick, which will be taken by Manchester City about 5 yards inside their own half. And so far, Aguero hasn't had a kick.
Well, there's no one getting close enough to him. Fernando's too deep for me. Not influencing the game at all. Fernandinho's picked up some really good positions between the back four of Tottenham and the midfield, but hasn't been found so far. They've not getting the ball into him. I mean, Silva's one of my favourite players, but he's been anonymous so far. I'm trying to find where he is on the pitch, where he can get on the ball to influence the game.
Fernandinho on the left-hand side of his own penalty area, forced to play it long, and then Vertonghen saw it coming and then really wide into an aerial challenge against David Silva, and he goes out for a throw. A free kick's been given for a handball over on the far side, and another Spurs opportunity to get the bodies forward. And Alderweireld never needs a second invitation to come forward from the back and attack a set piece, and this one is level with the edge of the Manchester City penalty area, out by the left-hand touchline.
A yellow card, that, Jim, shouldn't it?
It could easily have been. Otamendi was
deliberately put through his hand at it. You know what I mean? It was just a bounce of the ball beat him, and he was worried that Lamela was going to pick it up. Just threw his right hander. Spotted by the referee and the assistant. It should have been a yellow card.
Eriksson's going to take this free kick, and there are 5 inside the penalty area ready to attack it. Son with his hands on his hips, the double teapot stands on the edge of the D. Wanyama is the deepest of them. Alderweireld makes a run in towards the near post. He was hit into that area. Zabaleta got it away, and then Rose has shanked a shot, which causes Bravo problems. And then Alderweireld, as he leant into the goalkeeper and forced him over the line. Referee has said it was a push and a free kick. Whether it went over the line becomes academic. It was a complete mishit from Danny Rose, but it caused problems. And now as City work it forward long and quickly, Sterling for a moment had turned inside Walker, but coming back to cover, Walker had done well to hold him up, and Sissoko aids the defensive effort, and Spurs can play their way out from the back again. It's goalless. Tottenham well on top with the 9th minute own 1-0, I beg your pardon, to Spurs. Tottenham well on top with the 9th minute own goal from Kolarov, the difference between the two sides. City will bring it forward. Out towards the right-hand side for Fernandinho. Just checking you were listening, Ray. It's all right.
That's why Wanyama's in the team, though. You know, just situations like that. actually done very well down the right hand side there, Manchester City. Navas got away from Danny Rose and just played a little ball down the line there to pick out Fernandinho. And Wanyama came across from that central position just to see out the danger there and put out for a throw in for City,
which will be taken 30 yards from the corner flag. Spurs again win it back quickly with Ericsson in there strongly. Now Lamela bring it forward over halfway, finds Ali. Ali's got space to his right hand side. Sissoko's touch was heavy, and he then went in strongly with a 50-50 with Stones, and the loose ball ricochets through for Aguero trying to deal with Ali, who's faced him up. He's turned it forward through the midfield, and Ericsson's defensive covering was excellent. Silva waited for the ball to come to him. Ericsson made sure that it didn't get there. Sissoko goes back for Walker. Sissoko now under pressure from Sterling. Has won a throw. No, it's gone the other way. It's a Manchester City throw, which Kolarov will take. 1-0. Kolarov with the ball in his hands, waiting for a little bit of movement ahead of him. None forthcoming at the moment. Aguero now will make a run towards the edge of the box and try and create space. He's done that for Sterling. The ball thrown in towards Sterling. Sissoko goes up for it with him. The referee again has spotted an infringement, and it's going to be a Tottenham free kick. Let's get an update from the King Power. Leicester against Southampton. TalkSport's Jeff Peters.
It's 0-0 here, but Southampton have gone close. Austin twice, first with a header straight at the keeper, and then from Davis's ball over the top, an angled drive from Austin, thumping shot across the face, hit the inside of the post. It's Leicester 0, Southampton 0.
Ericsson tries a shot from distance, a low P roller which goes through to the goalkeeper. Bravo can pick it up and then bowl it out towards the right hand side. And Otamendi again as a centre half goes into a wide position. Pep Guardiola furious as the ball was launched forward some 60 yards. He just had his arms by his side and threw them down by his trouser pockets with real fury. Ericsson's picked it up in the midfield, finds Ali. Zabaleta, the shaven-headed Argentinian, comes towards halfway and has temporarily won it back, but Son will lay it back for Wanyama. Now towards Walker, let the ball roll across his body, and then had the pace and dynamism to get past Sterling, who fouled him, but the play goes on. Good advantage from referee Mariner as it's worked out towards the right-hand side for Sissoko. And a recent signing from Newcastle finds Ericsson. Back for Walker. Son leading the line, Ali in behind him. The two making runs towards the edge of the box as Ericsson picks it up. Sissoko will deliver. It's an awkward-looking clearance, but an effective one from Fernando, the deepest line midfielder. Son picks up the pieces. Ericsson back towards Ali. Ali trying to open up the angle. Oh, he's done well. He's pirouetted his way through. Then slips it in towards Son. He was brought down. It's a free kick in the D. And there is the yellow card for Otamendi. And just going back to that earlier problem he had out on the touchlines, good job he didn't get a yellow for the handball, because that was a bona fide 24-carat yellow card.
Oh, absolutely. Just flew into the challenge, didn't he? As he went flying, it was his momentum that caught Ali there. You know, don't think there was any real intent. Just that he went into him. He's gone over him, Ali, but this is a good position because you look like the technicians that are there over the top of the ball at the moment. You've got Lamela, he's got an educated left foot. Likewise, Christian Eriksen, fantastic from free kicks. The only problem you've got here, Jim, I think, is can you get it up and over the wall in time? It's so close, but 20 yards out. But that all came about with Fernandinho giving the ball away. They're trying to play out of areas which is just too tight. Sometimes you just got to put your foot through it, get it downfield, squeeze up the pitch and then hold your positions. They're making it easier for Tottenham at the moment, Manchester City.
Well, Christian Eriksen has shaped up to take this. Lamela is standing over the ball now. Eriksen just walks back towards it, spots it down. 2, 3, 4, 5 steps back to an angle to the southwest of the ball. Every City player is back. The ball in the D. Eriksen right-footed through the wall and a fraction wide. He had Bravo scrambling to his right-hand side. The ball beat him for pace, but it beat the post as well.
Yeah, just wide of the target. I mean, it's the goalkeeper's side, so I'd expect him to save it. I think goalkeepers try to do too much, you know. What they should do is the manager should say to the keeper, the wall protects one side of the goal, you protect the other. If it goes in your side, you're at fault. If he's good enough to get it up and over the wall on target, then I'll take the blame for it. But just minimise the risk for the goalkeepers. Just get their focus right. I've seen that happen too many times.
Lamela comes in and catches Fernandinho. Free kick in the midfield to City. You're listening to Spurs 1, Man City 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. You can see more live Premier League games on Sky Sports than ever before this season. Still Leicester 0, Southampton 0, with Saints hitting the post through Charlie Austin. Otamendi, the edge of the centre circle, forced to go back again for Claudio Bravo. Takes a touch and then brings it outside the penalty area. Son didn't put maximum pressure on that time. It's worked wide for Otamendi, who again just launches it forward to his manager's dismay. Fernandinho picks it up in the midfield, but Wanyama's won it back, trying to get Son free in the inside left channel, but Otamendi came across and covered that. Zabaleta then plays it forward. Vertonghen's defensive header not the best. Rose stabs it further clear, but Navas will be able to pick it up on his 150th Manchester City appearance. Finds Silva to Sterling in a central position on the edge of the D. Collar off to his left-hand side, low ball in from him. Aguero goes down, referee says no penalty. Spurs bring it away quickly. Ali forward towards Son. Son is flagged offside. Only now does the play stop as Spurs make their way inside the penalty area. The flag had been up ages, but should it have been a penalty at the other end?
Well, no, I don't think so. My first reaction I only had a quick glimpse of it. I'm looking at Aguero walking back, and he's not arguing at all with the decision. So it must have been that the player got the ball. I was a bit of the ball first. Yeah, I think situations like that, you've got to favour the defender. I thought he got a bit of the ball first, and then it was just, I think, the movement afterwards when he went over Aguero, but he didn't complain at all. He completely agreed with the referee. He said, no penalty, continue playing.
And having seen the replay, nor was it a dive, because as Vertonghen came in, I think that's why there are some isolated boos from the Spurs fans. Thought that Aguero had played for it and had gone down very easily, but had no option but to lose his footing there. So it remains 1-0 to Tottenham, and a free kick which will be taken by City for that foul in the centre circle. Played forward towards Navas. Navas had towards Zabaleta. Zabaleta's ball forward, Navas has it again. And Navas will take it down towards the right-hand touchline, trying to get Zabaleta in on the overlap. Zabaleta will then cut inside Rose's challenge, but Wanyama's doubled up, and as he plays out towards the touchline, Rose steers it clear. Not too far clear. City have it again in the midfield. Fernando's got it. Fernando on the edge of the centre circle. Fernando to Sterling. Back for Fernando again. Silva. Well, Tottenham playing with such an intensity. Will they be able to keep this up for 90 minutes? Fernandinho down towards Kolarov. Kolarov plays it in. It hits Walker. Blocked across the source, and it goes out of play for a Manchester City throw.
Great pressing, isn't it, from Tottenham? You're quite right, Jim. Can they keep it up for the full 90 minutes? Manchester City have just changed the formation. They've actually gone to a diamond midfield, and they've put Sterling up front alongside Aguero.
Fernando finding Sissoko difficult to deal with, lays it back for Bravo under pressure this time from Ali, side foots it out from the penalty area to Fernandinho, and then told him that he had to play it first time with the pressure coming. Silva continues the move, works it down towards the City left for Kolarov, shown inside by Walker. He's found Sterling in this more advanced central position now. Raheem Sterling trying to turn, beaten by Wanyama, and it goes over the line for a throw, which will be taken by City on the left-hand side. Such a tempo about the game, such an intensity, befitting a match of this status. The two remaining unbeaten records in the Premier League. Spurs, 4 wins, 2 draws. City, 6 wins out of 6 coming into this one. Kolarov, left-hand side of the penalty area. Good challenge coming in from Sissoko, and he's managed to play it off Kolarov, and how to play for a goal kick which will be taken by Hugo Lloris away to the left-hand side. Tottenham 1, Manchester City 0 on TalkSport.
I've got to say, great defending that, wasn't it, from Sissoko? Tracked Kolarov all the way there, and that's what you have to do when you're a wide player. But I've got to give credit to Pep Guardiola. He's realised that they were getting no joy whatsoever, so he's changed his formation, changed his tactics. That's thinking on the move, if you like. That's brilliant from his point of view. He realised that the two wider players, Sterling and Navas, weren't getting in the game in them wide areas. So what he's done is put Sterling up the more central row, and then just play that diamond formation with Fernando sitting deep, Silva higher of the midfield players, and then Navas has come in narrow alongside Fernandinho. Very clever.
Stones again as a centre half, right on the touchline as he receives the ball there. Bravo, Fernando, out towards Otamendi, and Otamendi has a little bit of space with which to work this time. There hasn't been too much of that for any City play. He's got it forward towards Navas. Navas with a strong run. Lamela came back and just got a toe to the ball to flick it away back towards his own back line. Spurs clear, but it's picked up again in the midfield by Fernando, and he will have it now and turn, bring it onto his right foot, bring it forward 15 yards inside Tottenham territory before slipping it in towards the feet of Silva. Now Sterling, left-hand side of the area, didn't really get anything on it, and the communication was right at the back. Lloris gave Rose the shout to leave it, and was able to pick it up. Well, here are the latest odds from Betfair, Sunday Exclusive's official betting partner on TalkSport. £25 pre-match bet on Spurs means you can cash out now for £43. The latest odds right now, Spurs 8-13, City 9-2. The draw is 11-4. Lamela brings the ball forward towards the edge of the penalty area, finds Eriksson. Eriksson slipping it in towards Lamela again, and City are able to get it half clear. Back for Eriksson. Eriksson to Lamela, trying to get away from Fernandinho. Played wide towards Danny Rose. Son makes a run in towards the near post. It's deflected, and Zabaleta will chase after it, stop it going out of play for a corner. Otamendi then given a shove by Ali. And City have a free kick. So just reiterate those odds. Spurs 8-13, City 9-2. The draw is 11-4. With Betfair, you can cash out on single accumulator bets to take your winnings before the end of the match. It's available on selected markets and conditions apply. You can try it at betfair.com or download the app today. And please, gamble responsibly. Tottenham leading by a goal to nil. It's played out for that free kick from Bravo. To his right-hand side for Otamendi. Otamendi to Silva. Silva forward towards Aguero, finds a little bit of space in between Rose and Vertonghen, right-footed shot across the face of goal, and Lloris at full stretch, but it went past him and the post, and out of play for a goal kick.
See, just that slight change to the formation from Guardiola, all of a sudden now they're finding midfield players, well, they weren't doing that before, but they are. Silva's in a great position there, gets turned on it, straight away he's looking for Aguero, picks him out over that right-hand side, he doesn't need a second invitation to have a strike at goal, hits it across Hugo Lloris, and that wasn't too far away, but I've got to say, at the moment, Manchester City looks so much better.
Sterling to Silva, Fernandinho, level with the edge of the penalty area. Fernandinho's ball across the edge of the box is then played by Silva to Sterling, who nudges it in towards Aguero, in a sense that whilst they're not quite turning the screw, they are getting closer here. Manchester City, they're beginning to utilise the width there, getting the ball in towards Aguero and Sterling in the middle now.
Well, that's 3 half chances they've had, Jim, in quick succession. You know, we had the shot from Sterling, well blocked by Vertonghen. We've had the strike from Aguero from that right hand side only a few seconds ago, and there a lovely little ball threaded over the top from David Silva to pick out Raheem Sterling. He's trying to pick out his teammate Aguero with a pass, just couldn't quite get the ball into the area, which would have favoured Aguero, but much better from Manchester City now.
Well, this is Tottenham's best start to a top division season after 6 games for more than 50 years, only the second time they've ever got to week 7 of a Premier League season still unbeaten. Last time they managed it was 12 years ago. They lost their 7th game that day at home to Mancunian opposition. At the moment, no repeat on the cards. A ball from Son out towards the left-hand side, flags up as it's worked inside the penalty area by Lamela, and it's a free kick which will be taken by City inside their own box. Tottenham 1, Manchester City 0 on TalkSport. Here's Ray Hatton.
You should never be offside from a situation like that. You got to hold your ground. He just went a little bit early. He's looking right across the line. Absolutely, from his point of view, dreadful decision there to go in the manner that he did. He could have held his ground. There was no one near him. Perfect opportunity to stay wide and get across into the box.
And now City play out from the back, and the Tottenham pressers one possession back on the edge of the penalty area. Sissoko trying to tease it in off Stones for a corner, just chipped it straight out of play for a goal kick. That time the ball went back to Bravo, and they didn't attack Bravo in the same way, but they attacked the 3 men all waiting for it on the edge of the penalty area. It's clearly something that has been worked on at length. It was the same last week at Swansea, the same at Celtic, and people at the moment have got a handle on how to get the best out of Manchester City's defenders.
Yeah, you will, but can you sustain it for 90 minutes? Because that's what you have to do, because they'll keep playing the same way, Manchester City. They'll keep passing out the back.
Now they'll bring it forward themselves at the other end. Aguero brought down by Wanyama.
Could be a yellow, this.
It is a yellow for the Kenyan, who had an unenviable disciplinary record at Southampton last season, where he was sent off 3 times, and he picks up the first Tottenham yellow of the day. Otamendi's already in the book as well, but more pressingly, it's given City a free kick, and they've got any number of set-piece specialists in the side who will fancy it. It's almost on the edge of the D. It's about 6 yards outside the penalty area, left of centre.
Collar off for me. The way that he gets the ball up and down, you know, I think this is perfect for him. You've got Aguero all over it, Silva, collar off. Just about all the direction of it, isn't it? It's quite a tall wall when you look at Spurs, don't you? Wanyama in there, Lamela, Sissoko, and they've got plenty in there. I mean, was that 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the wall?
Looks like it's going to be Aguero, right-footed through the wall, and Lloris does well, dives to his left-hand side and saves it. Sterling will try and pick it up, and he's done so. On the right-hand edge of the area, it comes back for Silva. Silva's left-footed ball flicked in, hits Wanyama. That'll be cleared by Danny Rose. And brought down in the midfield. Lamela was victim of a very strong but legitimate challenge. Spurs bring it away. Sissoko can't get past Fernandinho, and he will turn and then hit an aerial ball over the top. Sterling's offside, and it's a free kick to Spurs.
Well, Pochettino's just arguing he wants a free kick with that challenge on Lamela. I thought it was just a good old-fashioned 50-50. And Lamela didn't complain. Now, the free kick, there's a perfect example where the wall does its job, staying where it should. The goalkeeper stays in his position, and it's an easy save. It's when the goalkeeper's trying to read it and go across before the ball's been kicked. That's when you get problems. You've got half the goal to manage as a goalkeeper. Make sure you do your job in that area and let the ball take care of the other side.
Well, as Kolarov was standing over the free kick, thought back, Son's offside here, thought back to one of the earliest matches between these two that I can remember, the 1981 FA Cup final. There's been some great games between the two. Tommy Hutchison that day scored at both ends, and I was just wondering whether Kolarov, as he was shaping to take the free kick, might be able to emulate the great man, 35 years on. Not at this juncture. Stones lays it back to his goalkeeper. 1-0 Tottenham lead. Stones forced to play a long diagonal ball from the left-hand edge of his own box out towards Rose, who's fouled Zabaleta, and it's a free kick. The Spurs fans are booing and whistling because they think that a few of these decisions, there aren't much in these challenges, are going Manchester City's way. But it is a free kick which will be taken by City well inside their own half, and they trail 1-0.
I'm just looking at Pep Guardiola and his technical area, and he's fuming. Obviously, he's impressing upon his players. He likes them to play out, but not all the time. You could see clearly there, the ball that John Stones played back to Bravo, he put too much pace on it. So automatically the keeper has to take an extra touch. You can't play the ball first time, and then he's ended up giving it back to Stones, who's hit a diagonal ball straight to Danny Rose.
Son trying to break forward quickly here for Spurs. Otamendi stepped up to the defensive line. He's in trouble. He's going to get away with this. He's already on a yellow card. Could have had one before he was cautioned, and has just got away with another late lunge there as Ali had played it forward towards Son. As the free kick is taken too quickly, Son's put the ball into the net. It doesn't count. It's going to have to be taken again. But Otamendi is really lucky, and Pochettino is just making that point to the fourth official, John Moss, in front of us.
Yeah, look, listen, I don't think you should. Does it warrant a second yellow? I mean, was it that bad a challenge? I don't think so. I think the one he got booked for, yes. I mean, he's a bit fortunate because he had a handball, deliberate handball as well, which he got away with. And when you're on a yellow card, you have got to make sure you don't do anything wrong. You really do. I mean, he's a little bit frustrated because he went in with a challenge with Son, which he should have won. It's ricocheted to Ali, and then he's gone in for it again. I don't think there's an awful lot in him. Probably didn't warrant a second yellow card, but that's it. That's his last warning.
Eriksson will take the free kick. Not in shooting territory. It's 25 outside the penalty area. He's teased it over the top with a little flighted chip, which is headed away by Kolarov. Appeals from the Spurs fans for a handball on the edge of the area. Navas will be able to lead the counter-attack, and he's thrashed it forward long. Rose intercepted the pass forward. Aguero had made a run in behind. There was a bit of space for City to try and hit there, but Danny Rose defended it well. And now Otamendi on the edge of his penalty area. Lack of control from him. Has to go back to his goalkeeper, but Bravo this time has got the easy job to side foot the ball out towards Stones, who elegantly brings it away from Dele Alli through the midfield. And still he goes, Stones. He's got to make sure he doesn't lose possession in this kind of area. And having dispensed with the ball to his right-hand side for Navas, he's continued his run forward, then thinks better of it and will languidly make his way back through the midfield now, Stones. But City still have possession, and it's played forward towards Zabaleta, looking right across the line, and he too draws an offside flag. 1-0 to Tottenham.
Yeah, well, that was decent build-up play from Manchester City, particularly John Stones. Great feet as he came out there, went past 2 or 3 of the Tottenham players, and then he's made a run into the box, and I think at that stage his manager said, get back, make sure you get back into your central defensive position. And you can see he was trying to get into that area of the field, but wasteful from Manchester City's point of view. I mean, Navas played the ball to Zabaleta. You've got to look, you've got to make sure that you look to say that you're in an onside position.
Spurs play the ball from the free kick out from the back. Fernando heads it away, and then Sissoko's in there in the midfield and guides it back for Kyle Walker. Walker past Sterling in towards Sissoko. Sissoko can't get past Kolarov. Sterling flicks it through the midfield. Wanyama heads it away. Eriksson chests it on. Kolarov wins it back. Back it goes for Stones. Stones back for Bravo. He's all right foot, Bravo. That one came to him on his left-hand side, but he was able to adjust quickly and get it away. Didn't get too much distance on the clearance, and now Eriksson will be able to win it back for Spurs. And City get themselves hemmed in inside their own half at times. Eriksson to Son. Son into the feet of Ali. Otamendi defended it cleanly and brings it away well, and then finds Silva in the midfield. Silva away from Rose's challenge. right in the centre circle. Fernandinho plays it forward. The stooping out of Varel can return it. Now Lamela to Son. He's got Lamela making a run to his left-hand side. He's got Dele Alli there as well. Ali threads it through. Zabaleta can knock it half away, only as far as Son to Ali! 2-0! What a wonderful Tottenham goal! A quite brilliant move as they play their way out from the back. Pass in midfield. And he's put it to the bottom left-hand corner. You can pay no higher a compliment than say Pep Guardiola would have approved if that had been a goal that City had scored. It's gone against his side, and his 100% record in the league as Manchester City manager looks as though it's in tatters now. 2-0 to Tottenham.
Well, there was a 3v6 situation, but it was for the defence, never mind for the attack. But I've got to say, what a ball from Son to pick out Dele Alli. Absolutely extraordinary. Just his vision, the way to pass. Got to say, defensively, Manchester City are all over the place. No one's picking up. You've left Dele Alli in the middle of the goal, 12 yards out without a player in and around him. You can't afford to do that, and he just nestled the ball beautifully in towards the far post. Nothing that Bravo could do about it, and you've got to say it's a massive uphill battle now for Manchester City. I've been hugely impressed with Tottenham. This is the best 45 minutes I've seen from them this season.
Absolutely. And a very inauspicious 45 from Manchester City. Spurs 2, Manchester City 0. And as things stand, City would remain top of the table with 18 points. Spurs would be second with 17. Liverpool would have 16, and Arsenal would have the chance to join them on 16 when they play at Burnley later today. Let's get an update from the King Power. Leicester against Southampton. Here's TalkSport's Jeff Peters.
It's still 0-0 and Southampton still dominating. Austin hitting the post early on. Leicester with a big chance. Van Dijk's poor back pass. Vardy should have scored once and then twice. Great blocking from defence. Southampton holding on. Leicester 0, Southampton 0.
You're listening to Spurs 2, Manchester City 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports. And don't forget, you can watch that Dele Alli goal on the Sky Sports Football Score Sender app. It's available at no extra cost for Sky TV customers with Sky Sports. Kolarov will take a throw for City in the left back position, launches it forward. Walker really had to stretch every sinew to volley that one back over the touchline and out of play for another throw.
Mark Saggers was saying before the game, just having a look at the Manchester City players, saying how fit they looked. I've got to tell you, how fit did the Tottenham players look? I've just seen Son run 60 yards to stop Kolarov taking a short throw there, just to put them off. I mean, that just shows you the intensity that Pochettino's got his players at.
Well, they've both been in European action away from home this week, but you wouldn't look at it and think that Spurs have been all the way to Russia, and City have only come back from Glasgow. And Spurs looking so fit, so up for it, but it's just a question of how long this intensity can last. If they keep going like this, they'll be out of sight by the time that the legs do start to get weary. They've given a free kick away here, though, for a foul on Navas inside the Tottenham half.
Was that Wanyama? Because I think he's on a yellow card as well, isn't he? So you just got to be careful. Make sure you keep 11 men on the pitch. At the moment, there was no need to get in for the challenge he did on Navas. Navas was struggling to play the ball square to one of his teammates. They just came in, caught him. And you don't want to ask questions of the referee to produce a second yellow card here.
Well, Spurs haven't had a player sent off in the Premier League since the season before last, when Kirikesh was dismissed at Stoke. Here's Bravo, under pressure from Son, and Kolarov will be able to get on the end of his pass, but that time he was closed down and he had to try and play it with his left foot, and he might as well have had a neon light that said panic written above his head. City will be able to bring it away. They're 2-0 down. Navas towards the edge of the penalty area, to his right hand side for Silva to Aguero clipping it in. It misses everybody except for Lloris, who dives down and gathers very comfortably.
How many in the box for Man City? One. Raheem Sterling. Aguero, who you would hope to be in the box to try and finish off the move, he's the one that's delivering the ball in there. Just not enough from the midfield players getting in advanced positions. I'm sure at half time Pep will make changes and have a look at one or two on his bench to try and turn things around for City.
Now Rose brings it forward. Ali's got it on the left hand side, and he's got three to aim at in the middle. Try to pick out Sissoko, who's the deepest of them, and City are able to bring it away. Wanyama heads it down. Be brought under control by Sissoko, who goes back towards halfway. Walker steps up over the halfway line and gets a return ball from Eriksen's little cushion header, and then Walker takes it on himself. Right-footed ball hit across the edge of the 6-yard box. Time for Otamendi to take a touch and bring it under control for the bearded Argentinian. Launches it forward towards halfway. Return though by Wanyama, brought down by Aguero. On the edge of the centre circle, just goes into Tottenham territory. Vertonghen is there with him. He plays it out towards the right hand side for Navas, and Rose stops him getting any further. They undoubtedly have missed De Bruyne, as we suggested they would. They've missed Nolito as well in the 3 domestic games in which he's been banned. There was a little bit of silliness there. Rose stopped the throw being taken quickly and has picked up a yellow card for that, and he joins Wanyama and Otamendi in the book. Play does resume with the throw, but Spurs have turned possession over very quickly, and it goes out towards the left hand side for Ali, who can't find Lamela. And now City will have a throw themselves inside their own half.
Do you know there was an opportunity there when Son picked the ball up, just to flip the ball over the top for Lamela, and he was away free and clear. I mean, they're just playing so high up at the moment, Manchester City. There's so much room to get the ball in behind the back four. I wouldn't be surprised if he brings on Iheanacho at half-time, just maybe play Aguero a little bit deeper, but they need something different. They need to try and take the game to Tottenham a little bit more, and defensively, Manchester City have looked poor. And I don't agree with I like passing out from the back, but I don't agree with the times that they've done it and how often they've done it. To me, all they're doing is encouraging Tottenham onto them to put more pressure on them.
City have it again with Navas turning in the midfield. Zabaleta to his right, played forward instead towards Silva, and Alderweireld this time can get it away. And now Son looks round at the linesman's flag, and it does come up against him. He waited as he's entitled to do until Son touched the ball, but as soon as he did, the flag came up. Son had almost dared him to put the flag up because he knew that he was probably gone a little bit too early, and he was disappointed to see that the linesman concurred. City from the free kick, take it quickly. Aguero to the left-hand side for Sterling. 40 gone. 2-0 to Tottenham on TalkSport. 0-0 Leicester Southampton. 1-1 Manchester United Stoke is a full-time result from earlier. Eriksen goes back for Vertonghen and out towards Danny Rose, who will bring the ball forward here. Ali and Son both timing their runs well. Ali flicks it on, the score of Tottenham's second. It goes through to the goalkeeper, Claudio Bravo. He talked about City's defensive record, and even though the results have been good so far this season, the defensive clean sheets just haven't come. They kept one against Bournemouth. That's the only one that they've kept domestically so far all season.
Well, they had a spell, Jim, where they changed their formation, and it worked. They had the chance, they had 3 half chances, and they looked more likely to get themselves back into the game. But the worry would always be to try to play out from the back. It's not been effective at all for them today. It's just put them under enormous pressure, and they haven't really dealt with it particularly well.
And it's nothing new. That's the thing. We were talking about it 25 minutes before the game started. How can you get at this City back line? And talked about harrying them and putting the pressure on them as they try and play out from the back. So is it just bloody mindedness as far as Pep is concerned?
Well, listen, this is how he plays, and encourages players to do it in training, I would say, on a daily basis, and in matches as well. But as a footballer, you've got to think for yourself on the pitch, and you've got to say, is it the right time to do it? Am I under pressure? Am I giving my goalkeeper some help when I'm playing the ball back to him? No, because they've been firing the ball back to Bravo, and you can see clearly the intention of the Spurs players. As soon as it goes back to Bravo, they're onto him in a flash to put him under pressure.
Collar off, yarning from the left-hand touchline here for Manchester City. Will try and halve the deficit before half-time. Back from him to Fernandinho, to Silva. Fernandinho stretching, can bring the ball under control. Fourth official Moss comes towards the edge of the technical area, and I think it'll be 1 minute to be added on. Navas to Zabaleta back in field towards Fernando. Fernando is able to turn, and he can lay it back to Fernandinho. Now down towards Kolarov on the left-hand side. Walker defending quite narrowly, so Sissoko goes across to cover his run as we go into that 1 additional minute of stoppage time. Back for Fernando again. Fernando to Stones, the deepest lying of the City outfield players, when he picks it up, and he goes square to Otamendi. Right-footed ball over the top from Otamendi's headed away by Vertonghen. He finds Danny Rose. Rose launched it forward left-footed. Lovely little flick from Ali towards Son, but he'd retreated from an offside position. And the free kick is taken by City, but taken from the wrong place. Zabaleta trying to nick about 15 yards. Now to be taken. I think the ball was moving when they took that, but it has been allowed to carry on. And out comes Lloris and gets there at the feet of Aguero, left-hand side of the area. He's off his line. He's played back inside the area. Takes a touch to divert it away from Sterling. Sissoko can bring it out. God, there would have been an inquest. That ended up in a Manchester City goal there. Now as it is, Spurs will bring it forward themselves. Out towards Sissoko on the right-hand side. He'll chase and keep it in down by the right-hand touchline. And then a sliding challenge knocks it away. Eriksen will have the last touch of the first half. Well, we expected that it was going to be an entertaining battle. But we didn't necessarily expect that it would be quite as one way as it has proved to be. Spurs, going forward, have been able to expose Manchester City's back line, and they're passing out from the back nearly every time that the ball has been around the edge of the City penalty area. Kolarov own goal and a second strike from Dele Alli at the end of a wonderful move mean that Pep Guardiola's 100% record as Manchester City manager in the Premier League is in real doubt. At the break, it's Spurs 2, Manchester City 0. Sax, thank you. We're talking in the first half about famous Manchester City Spurs games, and I just wonder how many cynical Spurs fans recollected during the half-time interval the one back in 2004 where Spurs were 3 up at half-time in an FA Cup tie here against Manchester City. Joey Barton got himself sent off in first half stoppage time and it changed the game. City won 4-3, having been 3-0 down at the break. They need something not quite as dramatic but not too far short in the second half here, which is just underway. And City kicking from left to right straight away, lay the ball back for Bravo, and again awkwardly he plays out from the back. Lost count of the number of times I've said that. Loose ball finds Eriksen. Son! Could have been 3 right at the start of the second half, and he looks to the heavens and he knows that was a glorious opportunity to put this one to bed.
Yeah, listen, once again trying to play out from the back, and it was Kolarov who gave the ball away. Eriksen who intercepted it, played it into the path of Son. It wasn't a bad effort, it wasn't too far away. But as I'll come back to, football was very, very simple. When you're under pressure, relieve the pressure by putting the ball downfield. There again, they've taken the short goal kick out to Otamendi. Lamela puts him under pressure. He has to hit it against him, and now they're deep as deep can be, Manchester City, and they've still got the length of the field to go. I just don't get it. I understand when you want to play it on occasions, but not every time.
Particularly when the opposition are getting so much joy from it.
Yeah, they've just made another change to the system that they're employing at the start of the second half. Navas has gone over to the left-hand side. Sterling, who started on the left, then went through the centre, is now on the right-hand side. And then Fernandinho and Silva playing a little bit higher up, maybe a little bit closer to Aguero.
Vertonghen hoists the ball forward. It's knocked away by Stones and then brought down by Fernandinho. Given a little bit more licence in the second half now. It's a good challenge on him by Alderweireld. Guardiola appealed right in front of us for a free kick. Nothing given, and then Lamela turns it forward towards Wanyama, who's got away from Fernando with ease and then sets the sights from distance and wasn't far away, beating a scrambling Bravo, who again might just have been beaten for pace there.
I think he got a touch on it, Jim, and just gave a corner kick there, but great strength there from Wanyama when he picked the ball up. Just went past Fernando like he was in there, and the goalkeeper's got across smartly just to get his fingertips to it, to divert it behind for the corner. Looked like it was going to nestle in the bottom corner, didn't it, to give Tottenham a 3-0 advantage. Good save.
I think he might have been a little bit lucky there. He seemed to come off the bottom of his hand as he dived down for it, but it's out for a corner. Eriksen takes it and is headed away by Fernando down towards the touchline where Rose goes up for it, beats Navas in the air. Eriksen's got it and then flicks it round the side of Fernandinho down towards Son. Son takes it down towards the left-hand corner flag. 47 gone, 2-0 to Tottenham. Eriksen, what a wonderful little backheel flick for Son, who's inside the area, tight angle left-hand side, trying to get away from Zabaleta. And eventually Otamendi can clear his lines. It's back from Rose. Otamendi's then again jumping up on the edge of his penalty area to head clear to halfway. And then Silva goes in with Rose, who's taking a very awkward fall there. He's had this hamstring problem, and he went down clutching his hamstring again after the challenge from Silva. Certainly putting himself about. The referee just has a little word, nothing more than that. It's a free kick to Spurs, which Rose takes, having got back to his feet, and lays it out towards Alderweireld. Manchester City will make a change in a moment, and Ilkay Gundogan is going to be coming on presently. Left out from the starting lineup today. Sissoko's got away from Kolarov, beaten him on the outside, pulled back. Ali was waiting for it, and City able again to steer it away. The men in black shirts still defending. Eriksen Down towards the right-hand side of the area for Walker. Walker's ball inside the box, and he comes towards the edge of the area for Eriksson. Eriksson has the attempt. It's knocked away and be brought down by Wanyama. Wanyama again to Eriksson. Eriksson to Alderweireld. Vertonghen now towards Rose. Rose on halfway, plays it forward quickly into the feet of Dele Alli, whose touch let him down. Too often he can say that. Zabaleta can clear, and now Silva will be able to bring it forward for Manchester City. Zabaleta has it again, a yard in from the right-hand side, away from Ali. Silva, crossfield ball from him towards Kolarov, and Kolarov, 15 yards inside the Tottenham half, goes out towards the City left-hand side and finds Navas very quickly, dispenses with the ball back to him. Son putting the pressure on Stones, in possession, and Stones is forced to go back to the direction of play, and then very quickly and ably turned away and found Kolarov to play their way out from the back very neatly there, although they've ended up going back to Bravo. Again, panic-stricken, a little 1-2 between him and Otamendi. Bravo clears it right-footed out towards the left-hand side, where it's chested down by Navas and then flicked over the head of the nearest Tottenham player, brought down by Aguero. Very few chances for him today to extend his run of 28 goals in 27 Premier League games, and one might come here now. The angle's tight on the left-hand side. Lloris got something on it to bundle it away. It's eventually headed by Rose out of play for a corner. That was a rare sight of goal as far as Aguero was concerned. They played him in, he made the run between the two centre-halves, had a left-footed shot, and it was flicked by Lloris onto the post and cleared eventually by Rose for a corner.
Was a good goalkeeping that, Jim, was it? You know, he should have done a lot better. It wasn't the hardest of strikes there from Aguero. Keeper should have done a lot better. It sort of came off his body onto the post and behind and then went up in the end. It was Rose that put it out for a corner, but not good goalkeeping there from Lloris.
The corner has been worked in, cleared, but then played out towards Stones on the right flank. And his England teammate Dele Alli is in there with him, battling down by the corner flag as Stones auditions for right winger and fails the audition. It's out of play for a throw, which will be taken by Spurs on the left-hand side. Mikel Arteta shakes the hand of Ilkay Gundogan, who will be on in a moment, and will be Manchester City's first change. Whether he will replace one of...
That'll be Fernando will come off, in my opinion. That's who I would think. I think what it was when Wanyama went past him in that midfield area far too easily, and that's his job there, you know, to be that defensive rock in front of the back four, and he certainly was on that occasion.
Rose has his hand on the shoulder of Sterling, forces him down outside the penalty area. Danny Rose has already been booked. I know the referees will always tell you they don't think like that, but that was one of those that you do think if he hadn't had a yellow card, he would have got one for that. I
totally agree with you there, Jim. I think the referee just gave himself a few minutes there, thinking time, didn't he, to make the decision. Obviously, it's quite near where the Manchester City fans are. They wanted a second yellow, which would have meant a red card there for Danny Rose. Once again, you've got to think when you're on a yellow card. He's not in a dangerous position as such. Just stay on your feet.
Silva and Navas stand over this, but Silva surely will be the favourite to whip it in left-footed with pace. It's from a tight angle. There are two in the Spurs wall protecting that near post. Zabaleta is in there, Fernando's in there. In fact, it's left for Jesus Navas, who will just clip it in very deep. Fernandinho, left-footed volley, well over the bar. Far too ornate and intricate a set piece. Just didn't get the ball inside the penalty area with any quality at all. You're listening to Spurs 2, Manchester City 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports, seeing more live Premier League games on Sky Sports than ever before this season, and Fernando has to some extent been put out of his misery. Gundogan's on.
What foot do you think he uses the most, Fernandinho?
Fernandinho or Fernando?
Yeah, Fernandinho, who just had the shot there. What do you think? He's a natural right-footed player, in my opinion. Don't see him using his left too often. Jesus Navas takes a free kick. What foot did he put on?
His left.
I mean, it's not that difficult. You know, when you've got to try and look at where's the strength of my teammate, where am I going to put it, what foot am I going to put on where he's going to have the best chance to score.
Sterling to Aguero, trying to turn on the edge of the penalty area. Rose can hammer it away with his weaker foot, but he got plenty of distance on it, and then Stone's defensive header goes out towards the right-hand touchline. Otamendi sprinted after it and almost ends up in the Tottenham dugout, or I say dugout, the rows of seats where the dugout would be. There's no formal dugout here at White Hart Lane, and the Spurs men on the dugout, on the seats did well for him there. Just stood up, cushioned his fall, and he's able to continue. Son Square to his right-hand side. Play for Sissoko. Opportunity for Ericsson. Couldn't bring the ball out from between his feet. Then it's worked by Walker. Down towards the left-hand side for Lamela. Zabaleta is in there strongly and knocks it away. Sterling has it. Sterling forward through the midfield. Eriksson's sliding challenge was crucial. Sterling is in there strongly then on Ali and has won the free kick, which will be taken on halfway by Manchester City, and they've taken it quickly with Fernandinho finding Silva. 2-0 to Tottenham.
Do you know what? There was a real opportunity for Sissoko. If he had played that ball a bit harder, that would have gave Ericsson a better chance, you know, to be through 1-on-1 there with Bravo. He just underhit the pass and it was slightly behind him, and the opportunity had gone for Tottenham on that occasion.
Now Navas tries to get towards the dead ball line. He's overrun it though, and it goes out for a goal kick, which will be taken away to our right-hand side by Hugo Lloris, who chips it down for Danny Rose, and it gave Rose very little chance whatsoever. There's no need to 2-0 up. There's no need to play out that quickly from the back. And he tried to play it into Rose. He played it in behind him, and Rose acrobatically tried to control it with his weaker foot on the touchline, went straight out of play for a throw. Spurs are repaying several favours that City have given them with goalkeeping distribution in this game so far. 2-0 to Tottenham, as it was at half-time. We've played 9 minutes of the second half here on TalkSport. It remains 0-0 between Leicester and Southampton. We'll be catching up with Jeff shortly, and it finished 1-1 earlier between Manchester United at Stoke. And don't forget your chance to react to one of the weekend's action after the full-time whistle here with Sags and Ray and myself on air until 6 here on TalkSport, during which time we'll be keeping up to date with the early stage of the final day of the Ryder Cup from Hazeltine, and of course events from Lancashire as Arsenal go to Burnley. Silva's got the ball in the midfield and finds Raheem Sterling. 55 played on TalkSport. Sterling's lost possession and just stuck his arms out to try and stop Ali turning, and then Sterling is beaten to it by Danny Rose. Lamela with a little back heel flick in behind Rose, and Rose as well, caught by Sterling late. I don't think there was any intent there from Raheem Sterling, but he did catch him, and Rose ended up on the deck and Sterling ends up in the book.
Yeah, that's a yellow card, that challenge here. He's very late here. There's a bit of frustration as well. He might have pulled out of it. I think he went in initially to try and block it with his right foot, but he caught Danny Rose with his left, and the referee was in a great position to see it as well.
Scored in his last 3 games, Raheem Sterling. That's his 3rd yellow card of the season. And a free kick to Spurs, which will be taken a couple of yards in from the left-hand touchline by Eriksson. Ali's made his way forward. Alderweireld is in there as well. Son makes a darting run and tries to draw Otamendi out of position. City hold their line, which is artificially high outside the penalty area, the way that Guardiola likes to defend similar set pieces. But Spurs didn't work it forward with any quality, and City can bring it away, and bring it away quickly. Ball from Gundogan. His first touch of the game is too heavy for Sterling, and rolls down the camber of the pitch, seeing the ball pick up speed as it went towards the corner flag, and it's straight out of play for a goal kick to Tottenham.
That probably sums up Man City today, doesn't it? You know, just haven't been quite there, have they? You know, that was a decent break from him, a good play from Aguero initially into Gundogan, and then it was an easy ball to play out to Sterling. He's just absolutely leathered it, isn't he? He's gone out for a goal kick. Just maybe lacking that little bit of craft, that little bit of guile in that final third today.
Any sign of the breakthrough at the King Power, I wonder. Leicester against Southampton. Here's TalkSport's Jeff Peters.
No, it's still Leicester 0, Southampton 0. Nothing much really from either side in the attacking third in the first 10 minutes of the second half. Riyad Mahrez has been booked for taking a free kick too quickly. Have we really sunk to that level? Leicester 0, Southampton 0.
Eriksson towards the edge of the area, sees the goalkeeper off his line. He couldn't get enough elevation in the chip, and Bravo made a hasty step to his right hand side and made a comfortable save. It remains Tottenham 2, City 0. City win today, it will be an extraordinary comeback from here. It would also equal their best ever start to a league season, which happened in the second division back in the 19th century, but it will be really talked about. It will set down a marker, I think, for the rest of the Premier League season, the rest of the Premier League teams, if they can turn this around. Spurs, to their end, laying down a marker of their own with what we've seen so far. Here's Gundogan, running towards the edge of the box, little left-footed flick in behind Aguero, and Walker will be able to bring it away. Son's offside. The other thing that Spurs have done, to some extent, is laid out a blueprint for how to play against Manchester City.
Well, Spurs have, they have today, but there's been others prior to this. I thought Swansea did it to decent effect last Saturday for an hour. and then they tired out. Celtic did it midweek in the Champions League for 75 minutes and then began to tire. But what you have to get is get ahead of them, which Tottenham have done today, where they've got a platform to play from, which is the 2-0 advantage they've got.
First side to have taken the lead against them so far this season in the Premier League. A lead that they've subsequently doubled. Here's Walker in the sunshine over on the far touchline, and Bravo hasn't had the best of the conditions because he's looking into the lower sun in this second half now. Sissoko back towards Son on the edge of the penalty area. He can't get a shot in. Wanyama trying to flick the ball away from Sterling. It ricochets through the midfield for Ali to Rose. Down towards the left-hand side for Lamela. Lamela laying it back for Danny Rose again. Another pass exchange between the pair of them. Rose then overhits the ball down the touchline, which Ali chased after. Otamendi could shepherd it away, and out it goes for a goal kick, which will be taken by Claudio Bravo. Ali just indulged in a little bit of daftness there in coming away with the ball, had the ball between his feet and made it look as though he was making no conscious effort to play it, but he was stopping Bravo and taking the goal kick quickly. They're in a hurry to get on with things with just over half an hour remaining on TalkSport, and Tottenham have a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, just looking at Pep Guardiola, he was just deep in conversation with his coaching staff there. Might be thinking about making another change fairly soon.
Well, that was a poor clearance from Bravo from feet on the edge of the penalty area, and he just chipped it into the heart of the midfield, and Eriksson picked it up, but then couldn't play a potent through ball towards Ali, and Pochettino is furious. Bravo with another opportunity, gets more distance on the clearance this time. Eriksson can still bring it down. Zabaleta gets in the way and effects the initial block, but a lot of the second ball is being won by Spurs at the moment. Without a Varel, playing it out towards the right-hand side for Walker. Walker to Sissoko, back towards Walker, whose right-footed ball over the top will be chased by Sissoko. Stones will come across, should get there ahead of Sissoko. The pair of them just collide. There's a little coming together, clash of legs between the pair of them. Free kick to City, which Stones motions to take quickly. Sissoko is making no attempt to retreat the necessary 10 yards, and eventually Bravo will come across and will take it himself down by the left-hand corner flag. He raises his right hand above his eyes to shield his eyes from the sun. A little bit of barracking from the Spurs fans as he clears it deep into Tottenham territory. Alderweireld going up for it with Aguero. Beats him in the air twice. Good header back by Kolarov. Down on the left-hand side, played forward by Navas. Alderweireld can shepherd it back to his goalkeeper, and Lloris just calmly turns, side-foots it, left-footed, back out towards the Belgian, who clears quickly. Stones heads it down. Fernandinho helps it forward. Aguero's in an offside position, makes no attempt to play it, and City poised to make a second change, and Iheanacho is being called back, and I think he will be on in a couple of minutes. He's been out warming up since the start of the second half, and will now take his orange bib off, and he will be on second change in just 2 or 3 minutes time. Back it goes for Bravo. Bravo out from the back to Otamendi. It's 2-0 to Tottenham with 61 minutes played. 4 towards Navas. Navas towards Sterling. Poor challenge by Vertonghen. Referees played a good advantage. Sterling to Silva, back on his feet. Zabaleta now to Otamendi. Otamendi back for Fernandinho. To the left-hand side for Gundogan. Out wide from the German international of Turkish descent. High ball whipped inside the penalty area from Navas without the necessary quality or whip. And it goes out of play for a goal kick. Let's get the headline team news from Turf Moor. Burnley against Arsenal kicks off at 4:30. And it's a good afternoon to TalkSport's Graham Beecroft.
It's fairly simple. Burnley unchanged from the 2-0 victory against Watford. Arsenal, they beat Basel 2-0 in the week. They make one change from that side. Cech comes in goal in place of Ospina.
Beaky, thank you. Iheanacho is going to be coming on in a moment. He's got Guardiola just giving him the last few instructions. Right arm around the shoulder of the youngster who turns 20 this week. This will be his last game as a teenager. And with the left finger just pointing a couple of things out, things that he wants to see Iheanacho do. Man who's got an excellent record coming off the bench. Spurs are on the front foot here, have a throw, which will be taken about 8 or 9 yards from the corner flag on the left-hand touchline. They're in no great hurry to restart play when it goes out in moments like this. And Danny Rose will just saunter forward and prepare to take it. Sane out warming up and stretching. So to Alex Garcia for City as the throw comes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Otamendi's defensive header not the best. Held back in. Eriksson can't get there. And still bodies throwing themselves into the line of fire. Eventually it was cleared by Navas forward into Tottenham territory, but Alderweireld can run round it and get Spurs going again. Not for long, but then they win it back with Walker. Walker's done well. Ali lays it off, cushioned layoff towards Walker, who's fouled on the edge of the area by Kolarov, and then a foul inside the penalty area will give Tottenham a penalty. Well, the first one looked as though it should have been a free kick on the edge of the box, but Fernandinho's lunge inside the penalty area on Ali was cut and dried, and Spurs have a chance to take a 3-0 lead against the Premier League leaders.
As I say, good refereeing, wasn't it? Because he played the advantage. He could quite easily pull it up for a free kick on Kyle Walker, but because Spurs were going forward, he allowed play to continue. Ali goes inside. Fernandinho, I'm not sure how much of a touch he got on Ali, but he just felt the arm across and went to ground right in front of the referee. There's no complaints from Fernandinho, and this is an outstanding chance for Eric Lamela, and it looks like he's going to take the penalty to give Tottenham a 3-0 advantage.
Well, Manchester City were beaten here by 3 goals last year. You sense that couldn't possibly happen again with the start that Manchester City have made to life under Pep Guardiola. But an opportunity for Lamela to give Spurs a 3-0 advantage. Runs up, left-footed, keeper saved it, diving away to his left-hand side. Ali will be able to pick it up down by the corner flag, but Lamela's missed the penalty. In it comes. Wanyama on the end of it, goalkeeper paddles it away. Son volleys it back in, and City have a body on the edge of the 6-yard box on Mendy to clear it. Well, Bravo's not had the best of games, but that was a big moment. Diving away to his left-hand side, it wasn't the best penalty. Good height for Bravo. He got both hands to it and tip it away.
Well, that could be a turning point, really, couldn't it? I mean, Tottenham have dominated this game so far. There's been a 5-minute spell for Manchester City in the first half, maybe 10. But certainly Spurs will be ruin that opportunity to make it 3-0.
How important will it be? Lamela turns Zabaleta. Takes it down towards the corner flag. Still Eric Lamela has it, running towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. Tricky feet from him. Adrenaline coursing through his veins after that penalty miss, no doubt, and Aguero will be able to bring it forward here for Manchester City. Rose has stayed down injured after an earlier challenge which hasn't been punished, and now it'll be put out of play by Vertonghen so that Rose can receive any treatment that is necessary. The Spurs fans unequivocal.
Yeah, well, it was a challenge. I think it was Raheem Sterling. It was a 50-50. Both players were fully committed to it. It all came about after Lamela played the ball wide. They came into it, just went over caught the ball, and then his foot went over the top of it. There was no intent whatsoever from Sterling to injure him, but certainly caught the top of the ball and he followed through, went through, caught Danny Rose. The referee couldn't have been in a better position, Jim, looking straight at it, and he decided to allow play to continue. But just worry about Danny Rose there. He's had these problems with injuries over the last couple of seasons or so.
Was only back today. I mean, it's been a hamstring problem that he's been suffering with for the last month or so, since the last international fixtures. He sustained that injury with England. This is his first game back since then. He's being led away now. Ben Davies would be the obvious replacement, of course. He's on the bench for Spurs today and has been deputising in that left-back role during Rose's injury spell. Play will resume here with a Manchester City throw, which Aguero sportingly, you wouldn't expect anything else, takes and throws it straight back to Hugo Lloris. It had been put out of play by Spurs so that Rose could receive treatment. He is back on the field now. Danny Rose, albeit he's walking a little bit gingerly as he makes his way to halfway. We're halfway through the second half with Tottenham 2 goals to the good, but they have just seen a penalty saved. Lamela plays it forward. Otamendi is in there, high up and under from Otamendi. Clearance from Kolarov through the midfield. Return by Alderweireld. And there's a free kick to Manchester City. And we were speculating earlier about the intensity of Tottenham's play, particularly, and whether they would be able to keep it up. Well, at the moment, there's been no sign of a drop-off in that intensity or the pace.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've been aided, though, the way that Manchester City have played, because they're not passing it quickly enough. There's not a great deal of movement from the players either. And then just in actual caught offside. Really lazy play there from him. I mean, he's just come on as a sub. You might think he's going to be full of energy. He can get himself back into an onside position, but just caught there, ball watching, rather than being involved in the build-up play.
He came on incidentally for Jesus Navas. It was a substitution that was made in the immediate aftermath of the penalty save, the second that Manchester City have made, with Sane the most attacking option still left to bring on by Pep Guardiola. Spurs haven't made a change as yet. Still the pace of Nkudu and the target man Janssen waiting in the wings. Here's Ali trying to get towards the edge of the penalty area. It's knocked away by Otamendi. Gundon just calming things down. Goes back for Kolarov, who clears left-footed straight out. Guardiola acts as ball boy.
Still not right, Danny Rose. Just there when he let the ball go out for a throw-in. He just pulled up sharply there, and he's not moving too freely. Not sure keeping him on is the right decision at the moment. If he's not right, bring on Ben Davis.
Lloris clears down towards the right-hand side. Just over 20 minutes to go. Spurs 2 goals to the good. Should be 3-0 up and out of sight. Manchester City have a throw. We're taken over on their left, a far touchline from us, in the sunshine here in North London. Aguero making his way down on the left-hand side of the penalty area, ended up on the deck. The referee was happy with the challenge that put him there. Stones lays it back for Kolarov as City regain possession in a deeper position on halfway. Now Gundon will try and find his way through, and he comes inside. He's done well here. Zabaleta to his right-hand side. He looked instead for Silva or Sterling, and Rose got there before the pair of them and just hammers it away. And there's a big roar of expectation whenever the ball ends up at the feet of Claudio Bravo. Otamendi, now Silva on the edge of the centre circle. Kolarov making his way forward from left back. Alex Kolarov, who scored the first goal, an own goal in this end of the ground that City are attacking. Sterling with a shot here, a rare shot on target from them, but it bounced relatively comfortably for Lloris and goes straight through to him. Well, here are the latest odds from Betfair, Sunday Exclusive's official betting partner on TalkSport. £25 pre-match bet on Spurs can now be cashed out for 67 quid. The latest odds right now: Spurs 16 to 1 on, Man City are 40 to 1, and the draw is 11 to 1. With Betfair, you can cash out on single or accumulator bets to take your winnings before the end of the match. It's available on selected markets and conditions apply. You can try it at betfair.com or download the app today. And please, gamble responsibly. You're not missing anything. Sissoko goes down, injured, about 10 yards outside his own penalty area, and I think that's going to herald the introduction here of Eric Dyer.
Yeah, you would imagine they're just going to go very defensively now, Tottenham, protect the 2-goal advantage that they've got. I mean, it's not a like for like, is it? Certainly you would imagine if it is Dyer coming on for Sissoko, the Dyer will sit in the centre of the midfield alongside Wanyama, just give him that protection.
Well, it had been an impressive start of the season for City. Genuine tests have been few and far between, with the exception of the game against Manchester United. City had only played bottom half teams, 4 of their 6 wins coming against the current bottom 4. And this genuine test is one that at the moment they look set to fail with less than 20 minutes to go. Sissoko, who has looked the part in his brief Tottenham career so far, will be replaced here because of the injury, and Eric Dyer will come on. He scored in this fixture last season. He's been missing recently because of a hamstring problem of his own, but he comes on here for Sissoko, and that's Tottenham's first choice.
Yeah, there'll just be a slight change to the formation and how they're going to play. I would imagine either Eriksson or Ali will go over to that right-hand side to pick up the position Sissoko's. It looks like Eriksson's going to do that, and it'll be Wanyama and Dyer just sitting in that defensive shield. Maybe at occasions it might even be Dyer coming back and make a 3 at the back, 3 centre-halves. We'll wait and see how that develops.
I'll just give that a little bit more licence as well for Ali to push forward. Not that he needs too much of it. Aguero's offside here as it's worked forward.
I look tight that, I'm going to be honest, very tight indeed. You can see Aguero looking across at the assistant have to say, did you really get that right? And he's just intimating that you were offside initially, then came back into it. Well, he thought it was an onside position, but it was too late.
Lamela battling with Zabaleta. 2 men who know each other's game so well from international duty. Zabaleta thought he played the ball. The referee says, yeah, you did. Over the line, how to play. Yours was the last touch. It's a throw, which will be taken by Tottenham. You're listening to Spurs 2, Manchester City 0 on TalkSport with Sky Sports, and you can see more live Premier League games on Sky Sports than ever before this season. 17 minutes of this one remaining. Still 0-0 between Leicester and Southampton. Still 2-0 here between Spurs and Manchester City. Ali bundled off the ball there by Otamendi, who, remember, is on a yellow card and could easily have picked up a second one in the first half. Silva comes across and puts it out of play, and it's another throw which will be taken by Spurs. What I've been most surprised at is the inability of Manchester City to get enough ball into advanced positions to create chances. And the defensive susceptibility, I'm not too surprised at. And the amount of problems that they're playing out from the back, of course, that is, again, no mystery after the last two performances, but I am surprised that it has been as polarised as the absence of De Bruyne has meant that they haven't been able to create anything. They didn't create much at Swansea last week when he started in the wider position. When they moved him into 10, he was almost unplayable. They've really missed someone to pull the strings in that central area today. Silva, who started at 10 last week and has played at 10 all afternoon here, just hasn't been able to really make too much of an impression. Ali goes in strongly with Zabaleta. Zabaleta does well, works it back for Kolarov. Kolarov will bring it forward towards halfway. Now to be worked forward towards Aguero. Aguero, left-hand side of the penalty area, trying to turn inside Walker. Of course, if Manchester City were to score one soon, it would set up a grandstand finish, and it would be all City without a shadow of a doubt as they try to get back into the game. But they're 2-0 down at the moment. Son crowded out of it in the midfield. Gundogan sorted that. Now Silva will be able to bring it forward. Iheanacho, left-hand side of the area, tries a shot. Lloris did well. Got down early, made a save at the near post, and then got on the end of the rebound as well to stop Iheanacho.
Great run, Jim, wasn't it? Lovely threaded through pass there from Silva to pick out Iheanacho. Oh, they're coming together there between Rose and Raheem Sterling when they've been at it with that challenge earlier on.
Laid on the deck, Danny Rose there, holding his face. I think Guardiola thought that he picked up a bang to the nose. That's what he intimated to his myriad of assistants. 16 in the Manchester City coaching staff on a match day. It was a very hefty coming together between the pair of them. And there's a free kick which will be taken by Spurs right in front of us by Jan Vertonghen. A high left-footed ball forward from him. Kolarov comes across and covers and heads away, and then Otamendi will take it down towards the right-hand touchline and get it further away. It's curved out for a throw which will be taken by Spurs 15 yards inside the Manchester City half. 2-0 with 15 minutes to go on TalkSport.
Yeah, as you say, they look fairly comfortable at the moment. Tottenham just have to make sure they're nice and disciplined defensively. I've got to say, centre-halves today, and their lack of ability to head the ball is quite unbelievable. And there was just a throw down the line there. Otamendi's mistimed his jump completely and headed out for a corner for Tottenham.
Eric Lamela, the man whose penalty was saved, is the man who's going to take it. And it'll come in from the left-hand side. Son wants it played in short. Eriksen waits on the corner of the penalty area. Lamela has waved the pair of them away. It's a more direct ball inside the box. Heads go up for it, and it's cleared out as far as Rose. Rose down towards Eriksen. Eriksen. Fernandinho tries to win it back, can't do so. Lamela does well, gets it down towards Son on the byline. His ball in, diving headed clearance from Kolarov. Rose will be able to pick it up now, and still City can't get out. Rose takes it down towards the corner flag. Fernandinho is battling in there. Son will be able to pick up the loose ball and turn Otamendi twice, and then as he laid it back looking for Eriksen, he just presented it straight to Aguero. Aguero's though lost out to a combination of Rose and Dyer, and then off the ball Fernandinho has poleaxed Danny Rose. Play goes on with Lamela, who tries to open it up. A right-footed shot appeals for a penalty. Kolarov got in the way and blocked it. Still Danny Rose is down. Well, they're just trying to kick him out of the game at the moment, Manchester City. He's certainly been in the wars. And it goes now towards the left-hand side for Sterling. Sterling will bring it forward for Manchester City. Right-footed ball towards the edge of the box. Wanyama heads it away from Aguero. He has had the presence of mind to drop in the left-back area with Rose laying stricken upfield. He's back on his feet now and sprints back and puts pressure on Zabaleta. Forward from Stones. Silva's got it. This is 10 yards outside the Tottenham penalty area. Sterling's left-footed ball in just away from Gundogan. And Rose is there again to clear, but Otamendi will bring it down before Son, who's visibly tiring now. Out he goes towards Zabaleta. Zabaleta on the right-hand side for Stones. Stones just plays it down towards the right-hand touchline again for Zabaleta. Zabaleta's right-footed ball in towards the far post. Iheanacho going up for it. Half cleared. Gundogan! Lloris scrambling, but he knew he had it covered by the time the ball was there and it went over the bar.
Yeah, I think he should have played that out to the left-hand side to pick out Raheem Sterling, who's to the left of him. I think that might have been a better option. It was an easy shot to take on if Gundogan hit it wide of the target, but that coming together there, Fernandinho and Danny Rose were at it a little bit before that, where there was a little incident off the ball, and I think he just clipped the heels of Danny Rose. Danny Rose wasn't happy, and then as he went forward, the two of them just ran into each other. Not sure exactly what happened. Referee, I didn't think, had a good view of that whatsoever, nor the assistant, who was too far away. He's on the opposite side of the field, but Rose was down on the ground for quite a while.
Just seen a replay incidentally, something I didn't spot at the time as Lamela was preparing to take the penalty. Son obviously thought that he was going to be on penalty duty today, and there was a vehement discussion between the pair of them on the edge of the box about who should take it. Son didn't look happy as Lamela pulled rank, and then of course missed it.
But before the game, you put up who takes free kicks and certainly who takes penalties, and that's the duty of the manager to make sure his players know in certain terms who your penalty taker is on the day.
And then the captain's responsibility to enforce it on the field.
Yeah.
Seemingly didn't happen. I don't know. It could, of course, have been the other way around, that Lamela was on penalty duty and Son wanted to pull rank. But anyway, it was Lamela that took it after a discussion between the pair of them. Bravo made the save. At the moment, it's not a costly miss as far as Spurs are concerned, because with 11 minutes to go, they still have a 2-goal lead, as they've had since 8 minutes before half-time. Iheanacho losing out to Lamela. Zabaleta in strongly. Rose clears. Son does well. Chests it down away from Otamendi and finds Ali. Just with Dele on the back of his shirt these days, of course. And he turns inside. The Spurs number 20, but Zabaleta is there to knock it away. Tottenham not too far away now from a third successive league win against Manchester City, having beaten them twice last season. City bringing it forward here with Silva to Aguero on the edge of the area, and Lloris has made another outstanding stop, diving behind him towards the right hand side. He's flicked it over the bar for a corner.
I'll tell you, that's a great save, even though it's towards the near post. It took a huge deflection en route through. Aguero with a strike. You can see Walker got his body in the way, just skipped off the ground to keep that, to react quickly to get his hand on it. But there's a good spell of pressure here from Manchester City.
Corner from Silva. Alderweireld is up there to knock it away. Sterling thinks about a shot, didn't quite sit up for him as he wanted. He brings it back under control. Excellent ball back out towards Silva, whose first time cross is swept away by Alderweireld, and out for a throw which will be taken by Manchester City, making a better fist of it now with 10 minutes to go. They, like Celtic, wilted because of the intensity and pace of the game in Glasgow on Wednesday, but they're coming on strong in the last few minutes here. Iheanacho tries his luck. Alderweireld blocks it. Vertonghen clears. Then played for by Fernandinho. Out of the left-hand side for Kolarov. Exchange of passes in that little tranche of sunshine on the far side with Gundogan. Now laying it back to John Stones. Stones is 15 yards inside the Tottenham half as he turns and lays it back for Otamendi. Ali in there, but Stones is able to pick up the pieces. Back it goes again for Otamendi. Otamendi's ball through the midfield. Lamela waits for it to drop, stabs it back towards Danny Rose. Rose has got time to take a touch and then play it forward, but it's passed it straight to Zabaleta, and Zabaleta here will be able to motor forward into Tottenham territory. Out towards Aguero on the right-hand side. Clipped by him for Zabaleta's run, but Vertonghen comes across and clears.
Just that final ball again isn't quite there for Manchester City today. I think I worry is when you see Aguero continually moving or coming short and get involved in the build-up. They need a goal. They need him inside the 18-yard box. That's where he's a real threat.
Zabaleta with the ball in his hands. Motions to take the throw and then thinks better of it. Now takes it into the feet of David Silva. Silva to Otamendi on halfway. Still City have one change left, incidentally, and I'm surprised it hasn't come yet. Here's Iheanacho, left-hand side of the penalty area, and he's completely missed his kick. Walker coming across to put the pressure on. As he tried to cross it, it might have hit his standing foot and just ricochets over the line and out for a goal kick, and he ends up on his backside.
We've all done that one. You got to kick it with your left, hits off your right, and then goes behind for a goal kick. Rather embarrassing for the young man, but, just one of them things that can happen in football.
And Kudu will be coming on for Spurs in a moment as Iheanacho prepares to bring it forward and look for Silva. Eriksson is there and he's then cleared by Walker. Fernandinho goes up for it on halfway. Son mistimes it, and Fernandinho can bring it out from the back to Kolarov. Kolarov's ball through the midfield. Silva lets it run. Zabaleta now on the edge of the penalty area. Square from him to Sterling. Can't get a shot in. Rose's challenge was brilliant, and it'll be cleared by Wanyama inside the penalty area. Otamendi will sprint after it, put under pressure by Ali. It's an aerial back pass. Bravo chests it down and gets it onto his favoured right foot and calmly knocks it out from the back to Fernandinho. To Otamendi. Fernandinho rides the lunging challenge of Eric Lamela and then plays it forward. Aguero makes no attempt to go for it. He knew he was offside, and and then Walker falls to his knees and deliberately steers a diving header back to his keeper.
That's the best I've seen Danny Rose defend in a long time. Like I say, he's been outstanding today. He's been up against Raheem Sterling in the second half. Not really gave him an opportunity. There was a great block. Read the danger well, came across, and Sterling thought he was going to get his strike at goal. Got his body in the line of the strike there to avert the danger.
2-0 to Tottenham as the ball is worked forward. Lloris comes outside his penalty area and then retreats. 7 minutes to go. And Kudu will be on in a moment. Let's find out if there's any sign of elusive breakthrough at the King Power. Leicester against Southampton. Here's Jeff.
It's still 0-0. Leicester have been a little bit better in this second half in terms of chances. They've made some changes. Ojoa and Gray and Okazaki on for Albrighton, Vardy and Slimani, but it's still Leicester 0, Southampton 0.
And as it stands, Southampton will still be above Leicester in the table at the end of the day. Kolarov brings the ball forward, out towards the edge of the penalty area. Can't get past Walker. Alderweireld, though, sweeps up and gets it away from Silva, and Son will bring it under control over on the far side, and he was put on the deck by Gundogan. Two men who played against each other a few times in the Bundesliga. Aguero working it out towards the Manchester City left, and then Ali gets involved, and he can never help himself when there's a red mist to descend anywhere. Dele Alli's a more than grateful recipient of it, and that time he had a right swipe out, but the referee has seen it for what it is. He'll have a word with Ali, nothing more than that. It'll be a City free kick, and Spurs will contemplate making the change, and Kudu's going to come on. He was excellent the other night. He got 25 minutes against CSKA Moscow. He's breathtakingly quick, and he will replace Dele Alli here, who leaves the field without picking up a yellow card, and then Kudu will come on, the £9 million signing from Marseille, one of the most protracted transfer deals in Tottenham's history. It took them weeks and weeks to get it over the line, but the early signs are that it was worth the wait, and he will come on here to replace Ali, the scorer of Tottenham's second goal.
Yeah, well, with Manchester City pushing so many men forward, they are vulnerable to the ball over the top at the moment, and with the pace of Nkudu, that might be something that Pochettino is looking at. But it's been a good spell for Manchester City, but I think it coincides with Sissoko going off and the change that they made. So then they went with two sitting midfielders, so they haven't had much of the ball or been able to press higher up the field. They've sat back a little, which has encouraged Manchester City to have more possession of the ball and create one or two half chances.
City are going to make a change as well. Sterling will be off in a moment, and Sané is the man who's going to be brought on, and he's just getting his last instructions from Pep. I say Sterling's going to be coming off. That's what I would imagine the change will be. It's laid back for Stones to Bravo. Bravo outside his penalty area clears it away from the on-rushing Son. High ball forward, Alderweireld heads it away, and then Dyer will play it out towards Lamela. Gundogan is in there. Dyer tries to clear, ricochets back through for Aguero, but he's drawn the offside flag. Hasn't been his afternoon at all, and City will be able to make their change, their final change, and Sané will indeed replace Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, we'll see what Sané can do. I mean, he hasn't got too much time to make an impression on this game. Maybe the manager could have thought about it a little bit earlier. I say that he's been well marshalled in that second half, Raheem Sterling, by Danny Rose.
Sterling comes to the seats in front of us, had a look round. It was like watching nursery school. What's the game? Musical chairs. That's what I'm thinking of. He looked round, there wasn't a chair for him to sit, and he looked at those guys that had done no work this afternoon and put his hands out as if to say, I have run my hind off here. One of you get up. And then they pointed to where Sané's seat was, which was about 4 down the second row. Oh yeah, there it is. And he just walked around and took it up. He wasn't happy though, Sterling, for a moment there. It is 2-0 with 3 minutes to go. Spurs leading courtesy of the Kolarov own goal and a second goal from Dele Alli. Zabaleta defending, can't get it away from Son. Son's 30 yards out onto his right foot, little reverse ball through towards Lamela. And it'll be picked up easily by Bravo, who can then bowl it out towards Sané, who arrived for big money from Schalke. Had too many opportunities so far in his brief Manchester City career, just a one start so far. Hasn't appeared in either of the last 2 games, but off the bench for the last 5 minutes today. Kolarov to Silva, Zabaleta on the right hand side. Here is Sané with a shock of curly hair. Forward from Silva, Aguero tries to pull the trigger. Vertonghen was there, just stood right in front of him, took the sting out of the initial shot and then recovered to dig it clear and get it upfield and out for a throw, which will be taken by Manchester City back towards Bravo, with time very much running out here. 2 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Spurs 2, Manchester City 0. Zabaleta, Iheanacho drawing Vertonghen out of position. Rose is there as well, and between the pair of them they've been able to get the better of the young Nigerian international. Clearance from Wanyama, high ball over halfway. Son brings it down, he was onside, but Otamendi got there before he had time to take a second touch, and Stones will bring it under control on the edge of the centre circle. Down it comes now to Fernandinho, to Zabaleta. Zabaleta pressurised by Nkudu, who won the ball but took his man as well, and the free kick to Manchester City then taken from the wrong place. They're going to have to work it back out towards the touchline. Zabaleta stops it, puts his hand on the ball now, and will be allowed to restart play, but only 90 seconds remaining plus stoppage time. Trippier's just been sent out to warm up, but or has just come back from his warm up, but I don't think he will be coming on. Janssen may well be though for Spurs. Here's Sané towards Lamela. Left-footed ball in from Kolarov. It's knocked away by Alderweireld. And the Spurs can clear, and Lamela will be able to pick it up and bring it back inside. Eriksen couldn't get on the end of the through ball. Otamendi steps forward from the defensive line, and still he goes. And he's fed Aguero. It opens up for him. It's a brilliant block coming in on the edge of the box from Vertonghen. And then Eriksen smacks it clear over halfway. Son will chase after it, but Stones is there first. Chested down by Fernandinho, and Kudu's in there shoulder to shoulder. Fernandinho brings it past him, and Kudu's fouled him. And it's a free kick on halfway, with 40 seconds to go, and Spurs will make a change. There'll be a big ovation here for Son. Hasn't scored today, but had a brilliant start to the game and has made a major impact again, and he will be replaced after getting this ovation. Goes across, wants to shake the hand of referee Mariner to waste some time, and Vincent Janssen will come on to replace.
Great reception for Son, and rightly so. His energy level has been terrific today. He started the game so brightly, involved in all the good play that Spurs had. Willing runner for you. Anything that's been knocked over the top, he's been in there. He's been in the faces of the two centre-halves of Manchester City. But I've got to say, Tottenham have defended well today as well, haven't they? As a back four, they've been strong, resolute. They've got the bodies in the way of strikes that have come in from Manchester City. Alderweireld and Vertonghen. They're desperate to get a clean sheet today for their side.
4 additional minutes to be played, and we're in them now. Zabaleta's ball knocked away easily by Alderweireld. Eriksen. Back for Danny Rose. High, long, left-footed ball over the top. And it'll go all the way through for Bravo. Tottenham just moments away from being the first side to stop Pep Guardiola's men scoring this season. Kolarov in the left-back position for Manchester City. Back for Stones. And Stones back for Bravo. Bravo clears. Long. High ball towards halfway. Iheanacho goes up for it. Vertonghen, who's been immense, can head away. Brought down by Fernandinho. Still Pochettino kicking every ball. 2-0 up with 3 minutes of stoppage time left. He's on the verge of getting only his second win in 10 attempts over Pep Guardiola. The other came in a Barcelona derby back in 2009. This one will be much more significant. City in possession with Gundogan. Gundogan to Aguero, again having to drop deep and a bit of try and influence play. Back from him to Stones. Stones forward. Aguero's continued his run. Still Stones has it. Stones twisting, turning. Here's Iheanacho inside the penalty area. And Aguero eventually stabbed out a right foot and toe poked it towards goal. Lloris very grateful to be able to throw himself down and save it.
He couldn't get really the power or the direction on it, could he? I mean, it was an easy save in the end for Lloris in the goal. He hasn't had too much to do, really. He's made 1 or 2 decent saves. Remember the one at the near post that took a deflection en route off Kyle Walker, and he pushed it onto the crossbar, and then Danny Rose put it out for a corner. But I can't say that Man City have created that much today.
Janssen back for Wanyama. Wanyama to Nkudu. Nkudu, who is blisteringly quick, trying to take on Zabaleta. He tormented him. He beat him once, but hasn't made any headway with the ball at his feet. He's done really well to work it back in for Eriksen. And now Janssen left-hand side of the area. The challenge from Stones was clean. I don't think Pochettino thought so, and he has berated the assistant referee, sprinted across to him. And John Moss is just telling him to calm down. Iheanacho heads it through the midfield towards Silva. One back by Lamela. White Hart Lane, a cacophony of noise. Walker towards Alderweireld, who will chip it forward towards Eric Lamela. 2-0 with 90 seconds left. That's a throw which will be taken now by Walker. Walker just walks forward 4-5 yards down the touchline, helped on by Eriksson. Janssen can't take it down towards the corner flag. He then gets it back. He tries a little backheel flick towards Eriksson and backheeled it into his trailing leg, and it ricocheted City's way. But Wanyama can pick it up, and then Janssen slides in as Wanyama pokes it forward, but he was offside and he didn't get the touch he needed anyway. It goes out for a free kick which will be taken by Bravo. It would have been a goal kick had he not been offside. 2-0, seconds remaining. Bravo clears, really long clearance from him. Meat and drink for Vertonghen at the back. Down from him to Danny Rose. Rose forward over halfway. Zabaleta fields it. Zabaleta will take it on and try and get past Eriksson, who's pushed into the ground, and it's a free kick. One last chance for City, with a free kick taken quickly by Sane. Finding Silva. Silva, reverse ball fall from him, Gundogan. Iheanacho, Rose with a challenge, and that was another excellently timed challenge. His form will be a source of real encouragement to Gareth Southgate, as well as Mauricio Pochettino. And Kudu brings it forward, out towards Wanyama on the right-hand side, and that is the end of the game. It's also the end of Pep Guardiola's 100% record in the Premier League. And it might just be the end of all the aspirations of the Manchester City fans who thought that this would be a cakewalk this season. They may well, of course, still go on to win the title from here. But today has shown that it might not be anything like as easy as many people feared. Spurs back within a point of Manchester City. Now the only unbeaten team in the Premier League after an excellent performance. They thoroughly deserve the full-time scoreline of Spurs 2, Manchester City 0.